Welcome back to another pulse-pounding episode in the Invincible series. Today we're thrown into a whirlwind of danger and drama as Eve faces a terrifying encounter with Angstrom Levy right in her own home. Eve arrives back home and is shocked to see Angstrom, who is attempting to suffocate her. Angstrom notices the changes around the house. Mark rushes to her aid, much to Angstrom's surprise. Mark lands in sand in the dimension he was previously stranded in. He walks around the dimensions and finds out that one of his alternate counterparts have resorted to cannibalism to survive. The alternate Mark rambles on, and Mark realizes what's going on. He rambles more about how one of them was hated and thus had been eaten first. He goes up closer and attempts to eat him. Mark punches him away, and the counterpart talks about how he will like the challenge of getting his meal. Mark attempts to negotiate with his counterpart, stating that he can help, but he refuses. He continues his attempt to eat him, and Mark tries to escape him. Meanwhile, at the Grayson house, Angstrom Levy looks through their refrigerator while a crying Eve attempts to use her powers, but remembers it can hurt her fetus. Angstrom sees it through his orbs and is baffled by Eve not using her powers. Using his extra-dimensional knowledge, he grins and realizes that she is pregnant with Mark's child. Angstrom reveals that Eve's death would play a key role in Mark turning evil in other dimensions. One dimension he mentions the Lizard League had killed her with her child. Eve tells him that she will refuse to let that happen. The alternate Mark catches up to Mark and throws him to the ground. Mark is saved by another counterpart with a mohawk who asks for his assistance. The duo fly, but fail to evade him. He grabs Mark and continues his attempt to eat him. Eve tells Angstrom about what Mark said. She tells him how Angstrom tried to save Mark after the alternate Maulers were attempting to kill him, causing the machine to kill all his counterparts. Angstrom declares what she said as lies. Eve argues that the mass memory transfer could have caused his memories to get mixed up. Angstrom argues that though it may be true, he still interfered. Eve talks about how Angstrom was responsible for Rex's death since he turned himself into a suicide bomb to stop an evil Mark. She tells him about how she didn't focus on revenge and how Rex's death made her grow as a person. She argues that Angstrom could be doing good if he had stopped trying to kill Mark, much to his shock. Mark knocks back his counterpart, and the Mohawk counterpart crashes him to the ground, stating that he turned the other Invincibles against one another. He pummels away in rage and is happy when he kills him. A dimensional portal opens and Mark heads in. Angstrom attempts to talk, but Mark's counterpart comes in. He punches Angstrom, but Mark reminds him that if he kills Angstrom, they cannot return to their dimensions. Angstrom strikes him back and reveals that he has had a change of heart. He talks about how he had a mission and how he lost his way. He tells Mark about how the memory transfer made him forget what happened. He also tells Mark that he is evil in many dimensions and it should concern him, much to Mark's dismay. He surrenders and says that he can one day return to his prior goals. He offers the Mohawk Mark a chance to return to his dimension. He, however, takes Angstrom with him. The portal closes and Eve goes to Mark, kissing him. Mark tells Eve that he has an idea. He has Robot scan the place and he tells him that there's no signature there. He says that he can build a machine since he had done it before. Rex asks why it's so important, and Mark says that they must find him. Thanks for tuning in to today's heart-stopping episode. If you were on the edge of your seat watching Eve's bravery and Mark's desperate battle across dimensions, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Invincible action.